What is up? Welcome in, welcome back. We are here in our West Loop studio, presented by DraftKings. Use that code CHGO when you sign up. The greatest sportsbook ever, especially last night. Look at us. We are home. We're looking good.
Feels weird.
I forgot to do my hair.
I was going to say, I actually was about to say something.
I totally forgot to do my hair.
You have the product over there, too.
I brought in the product. I had everything together. I mean, I seriously forgot to do my hair, and I just realized it 30 seconds ago. So I need.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. There it is.
Oh,
Lay
man,
right.
let's do it right
All right,
now.
so now
you
I
can't
love
wash your
it.
hands, so afterwards.
now I need some water, and we'll be fine. Let's see how it looks.
Carm's going to do his hair right
I'm gonna do my hair right now. I'm gonna do
it's
my
just
hair.
a suggested
Finger,
start time for the show. It doesn't.
No, we're gonna do the hair. Let's see how it turns out.
Okay.
This could be really.
I wonder if people can even. Oh, there you go. Now we can notice here.
Rub
we
it
go,
in there.
Mark.
Yeah.
For the
See,
people
first
listening,
you got to put in the palm a little bit, and then you get in
Pomade,
there.
Oh man,
Yeah, you
aggressive.
just go right at it.
Very aggressive.
Now you feel good.
And
You should leave it up. I think it looks good up.
Like spiked
You
up.
like it up? We can go up
Way you
today.
hit it.
We could go up
Look
today.
at that.
like a mad
You look like the
scientist.
mad scientist.
Yep.
This
There
is
we go.
great.
All right, I'm in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we just found a good new look for you.
I mean,
wow, this is incredible.
You don't like it, Lawrence?
Is that a good look?
I'm getting a haircut after the show
It's-
for the record,
it's
so we might
giving
as well just
me-
lean into this.
It's giving me Will Ferrell at Wrexham, the selfie video
Leave
yesterday.
it like that. I like it. I think this is it right here.
All right.
Apologize to all the podcast listeners. I have no idea what's going on.
No, you're not
So
missing
I
much.
think they get it.
Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Nicholas Moreano. We are back in our West Loop studios. Carm just did his hair live on the show. Check out YouTube if you weren't able to see it. By the way, speaking of YouTube, we did it. 25,000.
Yeah, let's
Thank
go.
you. Thank you. You guys are thank you to
Yes.
anybody who's new.
Well,
The Bears
actually,
and
account
old.
too, you guys. Bears account's at 25K. YouTube subscribers 25K.
on Twitter, you mean the CHGO
CHGO Bears,
_Bears
25K.
on Twitter, which is where you should be. Congrats to Matt Nagy in the comments.
Yes.
Big 24 hours for him, getting the Super Bowl ring.
It's a big day for Matt. I mean, it was my first thought right when it ended, outside of my incredible jealousy and the fact that, I don't know.
It wasn't your first thought. The Fox broadcast made it your first thought because the immediate first shot was Patrick Mahomes hugging Matt Nagy.
Bracing him.
See, wasn't that like, when Jordan won championship number 4 and like Randy Brown wouldn't let him have the ball, like get out of the screen, Matt Nagy. You're not the first hug. You are like.
I don't think it was
your hug-
Matt's fault. Mahomes ran to him.
Yeah,
That's what it
Mahomes,
looked like
yeah.
to me.
I don't think he was. Was he really running to Matt?
That's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like. I,
need to see
tweeted that
it.
out.
I need
Patrick
to see.
Mahomes.
I need to see it again.
Found Matt Nagy.
Well, Bragg says no one talked to Mark Carman. Aggressive way to start a Monday. Is that because of you're wearing Northwestern gear?
I assume I assume it's about the Cats, but Bragg's being salty that his number 1 Purdue couldn't handle Northwestern yesterday. That's just you should be giving congratulations, rise and shine, not trying to rain on people's parades like a great Cat win, which of course is why I'm wearing the big NU today, because 0-18 versus number 1 team. So we just needed the Boilers to come calling so we could finally beat a number 1 team in the country. You fake number 1. Took them out.
Look at Eli's
Fake
comment
number
here.
1.
Carm looks like if the Backstreet Boys tried to do a reunion tour.
Yep.
Whatever. I would go to that.
Some mortifying.
What's wrong with that?
Slight morning, but just lean into it.
Congrats to you. Congrats to Dave Ennett. Congrats to Chris Collins. Everybody.
I know.
Northwestern.
I know that our fans are here for Bears, but let me just shout out the greatest Northwestern basketball player of all time. For people who don't know, is Billy McKinney, who played in the '70s, played in the NBA, played with the Bulls. Was him and Jerry Krause have some interesting history. R.I.P. to Krause. Anyway, Billy McKinney at courtside when they won. I mean, this dude was full. He was full tears.
Really?
I mean, like he's
like Nick Sirianni pregame.
like Nick Sirianni pregame. What was that about? I was trying to do a psychological dive on that.
What do you mean? What was that about?
He's just
It's
embracing
the national
moment.
anthem in the Super
He's
Bowl.
He's not crying because of America. He's not. He's
Yeah.
It's the moment, dude.
Okay, so what-
It was weird.
It was Chris Stapleton, who's probably right now ranks number 1 of all current.
Come on.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you,
What?
Lawrence. It was.
Like,
It was
really?
about his. I
We're
think it was
crying.
clearly about his journey and getting there. And people
Yes!
counting him out, and But I would just like to
do that like 3 hours before the game, not 6 minutes before the game.
Come on, it was a little weird.
Lock in, man.
I'm pro emotion. I love emotion. I'm gonna cry right now. But like I thought it was weird.
Obviously 100% natural and not contrived at all.
Oh, I agreed.
Well, Lawrence is like, wait to do it 3 hours later.
No, I said 3 hours before the game. Like when you first walk on the
I
field.
didn't know this would be controversial.
It wasn't. It's not
cheers.
controversial.
It is for Lawrence, obviously.
I don't know.
Well, there was
weird.
The militarization of the Super Bowl is a little bit much. Can we dial it down just an ounce?
Well, it was also on Fox, so it's probably got thrown in your face a little bit more.
Yeah, but that's different. They're that channel and like Fox, like national Fox. It's like listen. I don't want to get into the whole thing on this because it's no one wants to hear that. But it's a little much. Now they're showing the aircraft carrier. Now they're okay, all right. We're playing a football game. Like, I know you're with me.
I'm not. Yeah, obviously I am. But you know.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't bother me at all. It's the Super Bowl. it's the same.
Can we get to Rihanna lip sync?
I'll say this: I didn't like all the damn dogs dying commercials. Like that was
heavy dog night. It was a dog night.
Yeah, easy on the dog deaths.
Well, they didn't actually show the dog dying.
No, farmer dog. Like the dog didn't die.
I know, but
if anything, that dog lived like 25 years. That whole commercial, I'm like, wait a minute. There was a little girl that turned into an adult that had a child, and the child was like, was the child walking by the end of it? I couldn't remember.
It was like they were in the bed.
Yeah,
was Farmer Dog trying to
say
trying to claim if you eat our food, your dog will live to 30?
Because
that seems a little extreme.
That food.
Pretty much.
He's doing well.
I have some questions about that commercial. I expected the dog to die. The dog just kept living. Great food.
I want to give myself a loaf on the commercials. I do this every Super Bowl. Like I'm paying attention to the game, and then it goes to commercial. Well, I'm in my normal zone of like, right to TikTok or right to Twitter or whatever, and I lose focus. I need to rewatch all the commercials.
My annual apology to anybody that had to watch the game with me last night. I'm the worst at Super Bowl parties.
So
I'm just like, because I'm not social. I'm in the zone. I need to be able to hear what Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen are saying. I need to be able to watch whatever I can see on the screen, what's happening at the line of scrimmage, and I'm probably just annoying everybody. And in the commercials actually do kind of care about, so I try to watch them, and then people are talking, and that's not their fault. It's definitely my fault for not socializing, and then I apologize.
You don't need to apologize. Do you? Everybody should do the Super Bowl the way they want to do the Super Bowl. We've all earned that day. This is you can absolutely be by yourself. Nobody invited me over last night until the game started. I was like, hey, you want to come over? I'm sorry that you're sitting there by yourself. I was just sending videos to people like I was like, hey, you guys want some more dip? Like over my right shoulder, nobody there. And over my left shoulder, I was basically
Who are you sending these to?
Mainly Mark Rohde, if I'm
okay. And then Grody invited you over?
Well, yeah, he was. Then him and his crew were trying to get me. I'm like, I can't. Like, come at halftime. Come at halftime. What are you nuts? It's the best part of the whole game. I can't. I'm can't wait for Rihanna to get out there. Which, did you know that she was lip syncing?
Come on, bro. What year is it? Yes, they've lip synced for like 30 years in the Super Bowl.
Well, last year they were not lip syncing, but
No,
Wait, she was?
Thank you, Nick.
Time out. With the whole thing or just parts? Because there's definitely there's sometimes transitions that you can tell are lip syncing, but then I think when they hit like the big loud solo parts.
So you think she's saying some of it?
I definitely think she's saying some.
Sure.
Of it. Is this been? I haven't paid attention to this at all though. Is this a thing?
I mean, it's a Super Bowl. They're not doing that live. It's the Super Bowl. You gotta.
Kadek is saying that Jackson didn't. Like, no one sings, apparently.
I actually think.
What is that?
I actually think recently more people have been singing. Yeah. And a lot of last year's show, if not all of it, was live.
Yeah.
It never moved into my consciousness that everybody is lip syncing up there. Like, what? Come on.
Just
give me the real
Rihanna. Is there anything more American than the halftime show with everybody judging every little thing? Oh
Which
is pregnant? Is she pregnant or is she just fat? She's probably pregnant. Everyone chill out. And then sure enough, she does it. Good for her. She's on a thing.
Suspended in air.
I don't even care. And then
I didn't know she was pregnant.
She's suspended? How dare? She's up like 100 feet in the air singing. What she's doing in that moment is 1,000 times more talented than anything I'll do my entire life. So back off, everyone.
I
100.
I mean, I loved every bit of it. I'm like, I didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know she was lip syncing. I didn't care that she wasn't dancing crazy. Every song was amazing. I don't
care if she lip synced the whole
I
thing.
didn't care that she didn't have any guests or any of that. I know that was a complaint too. Like, let her do her thing, and she did.
Drew Black, has Carm ever been to a concert before? Listen, Black. I go out. I do things. I mean, come on, man. Has Carm ever been to a concert before? I will not. That's in the chat, by the way, for the audio version. That is slander I will not take.
What's the last concert?
What kind of loser do I look like over
Monday
here?
show is great.
And you telling me that the concerts I go to, they're lip syncing at me? My guy Griffin House is not lip syncing. That's the last
No,
thing.
I don't think. I mean, it depends if it's like a big show or not.
Was Tom Petty lip syncing when I saw him? No, thank you.
No.
Was Elton John lip syncing?
But it's the Super Bowl. You can't screw anything up. So they probably have a backing track, if anything else, where it's like it goes along with them singing. But
Did you guys survive the weekend without each other?
Friday night was tough.
We got a text late at night
And Braggs wanted to come over and sleep over too.
in Arlington Heights.
It got really bizarre.
Sleepover.
But
as Eli says,
yeah,
she's not lip syncing. She's singing over her own vocal tracks.
she wasn't lip syncing. She was singing over her own vocal tracks. Every Super Bowl, they do the same thing. They can.
I'm with you, Eli.
Okay, so she's sing. So they have like the best of her singing at that point, but she's
still
singing
singing.
it, but you don't hear what she's actually singing.
Well, you're hearing her sing over her own singing.
Yes. So she's singing.
Yes. I don't know. I was just
Whatever,
happy.
it's fine. I don't care. Do whatever they do.
It was cool, man. She looked great. Although I thought she missed an opportunity. I thought she could have gone with those stupid giant puffy red shoes that everyone's been wearing the last week and a half.
Like Sonic shoes.
Yeah, I thought those would have matched her outfit pretty well. But
It would have. Yeah. No, that's a good
We
point.
saw some of that in Arizona last week for sure.
Where was Disturbia? That was the only thing that I missed. Bound, bound, dee down, bound, bound, be down. I'm like, was that like too controversial for a Disturbia? I mean, she was fantastic. I don't care what anyone says, but a lot of people hate. Oh, that was terrible.
people are stupid.
That was terrible.
Like people yelling on Twitter into the void. You don't need to listen to them.
That's
every single day.
Yeah. I thought we were going to talk about the halftime show later, so let's just close it out.
I'm sorry.
Close it out now. I had low expectations because last year was so great. Like, I didn't think there was any way they were going to top it. They didn't. Rihanna didn't top it, but it was still really good.
I enjoyed it.
Really,
it was
really
good.
good.
Good halftime performance.
I didn't remember last year until you brought it up in the pre-show extravaganza.
Yeah.
And then I remembered last year as you went through it. That was amazing.
It really was.
I might have to watch that after this
I
fine
watch it
program.
regularly.
Do you?
I've probably watched that 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
Well, James really likes it, so I'll put it on YouTube for him.
There you go.
Watch it. So, yeah. All right, we'll get into some more of the peripheral stuff, too, throughout the show. But I think we get it. As painful as it is to do in Chicago,
Here it comes.
you got to bow down on Patrick Mahomes a little bit. I mean, the guy is just – he's insane. He is absolutely insane. At this point, you just got to kind of embrace it. Shout out to The Onion for immediately tweeting the second the game was over a story about how basically about how the Bears passed up Mahomes for Trubisky. It was like Chiefs' second Super Bowl title shows anything is possible if you don't trade up to draft Mitch Trubisky. That was the headline.
Wow. It's a good one.
Brutal. But look.
Yeah. I want to hear how you bottom line this because I don't know what to say. Or how mad we should be. Or how.
He's been an NFL starter for 5 years.
Yeah.
He is a 2-time NFL MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. He's played 5 straight AFC championship games at home. At home. Been in the Super Bowl 3 times.
It's the first time Nick's ever swore on the show.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
He's led the NFL in passing touchdowns twice. He holds the NFL record. Some of this is from a Schefter tweet the other day, by the way, the proper credit. NFL record, 5,614 total yards in a season. Here's what I'm getting at with this. With Tom Brady, it took me admittedly it took me a while for me to be like, yes, he is the unquestioned best player to ever play in the NFL. He truly is the GOAT. And what it was finally for me was the 28-3 comeback against the Falcons. And when he did that, it was like, I don't know how else. But part of the issue with Brady was always like, he was never the most talented, like, wow quarterback. It was the resume, right? It was just, dude, this guy just keeps winning.
He's the greatest winner.
Yes. But, like, I'll still die on this hill today. Like, Aaron Rodgers is more talented.
There's no question.
More talented.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mahomes is obviously the most talented quarterback right now. He already has a case for being the most talented quarterback of all time with all the different stuff he can do with his legs, with his arm. He's a magician. And he's already on a pace in 5 years as a starter to potentially get that resume part of it up towards Tom Brady. Now, it's an uphill climb. It's hard to win 7 Super Bowls. But he's still young enough that I think you got to be open to that possibility. And then the more I thought about it.
Don't do it. It's terrible to think about it more, but keep going.
When you get in arguments with people like Jalen Johnson on Radio Row,
my guy,
passionate arguments about Jordan and LeBron, you're like, the part where I agree with you and ultimately side Jordan is like the combination of just like being a stone cold winner and having the records that he does too, which obviously doesn't include points anymore because LeBron's number one. But there's a Mahomes, like what Mahomes has on this early resume to me is very Jordan-esque. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think what you're doing right now, and I'm with you, is that you're combining the absurd athletic talent and the numbers when they're at their peak, along with the winning.
Yeah.
When you boil that all in, and just a quick side note on the LeBron-Michael thing, I thought that Chris Broussard did a great thing on that. It's just saying, like, yeah, okay, LeBron's like, yeah, he's got all the longevity and all that. It ain't like Mike played 5 years. Dude played 15 years. Like, I mean, so let's not act like he was there for a minute. But with Mahomes, you know, the football is so, it's different. What the biggest difference for me, you know, basketball-wise to football, when you're trying to like boil this all together, you're playing the Super Bowl. It is one game. Anything can happen. The Chiefs probably deserved to win the game yesterday, but if Jalen Hurts doesn't try to switch the ball and fumble, maybe the Eagles win. And then now he's still sitting there with one, and the narrative today is completely different. And people might say, like, you know, the Eagles are more likely to get back next year when you look at the weak NFC and you look at what's in the AFC. I don't necessarily agree with that, but, like, it would just be totally different. And we're talking about a 3-point game with an official making a huge call that shouldn't have been called, in my opinion. So I just, like, there's a lot of luck that's involved in football.
But here's a few things. First of all, we got a super chat from Monty, $4.99. Patty reminds me of the perfect fusion. DBZ reference.
Like it. Yep.
Of
DBZ fusion.
Of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Fair, but he doesn't turn the ball over like Favre, and he's already won more than both of them.
Tied.
Well, he dumped it.
But combined, he basically, you know, and here's the other thing, Mubs, I love you. You're here every day. You got comments the whole time. No one here is saying Mahomes is already Brady or Jordan. It's, here's a young guy who's on track.
He's ahead of him at this point in his career, Mubs.
He probably is. And
he's not probably.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess that's the point. And there's really no but to it. Like, there's no, well, he's just not going to last that long. Or, like, you don't know. There's really no downside to his game. And I think this one is the ultimate, like, Jordan-type season because you have the fact that, okay, they traded Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have all the weapons. And even to the end, they're doubting him in the Super Bowl because of that. Playing through an ankle injury, which got aggravated in the middle of the game. It didn't matter. Losing, they're down 10 late in the game. Didn't matter.
Down 6 after the Eagles kicked the field goal. You knew they were going to win. Philly's in trouble.
Eli's got an awesome comment right here. If we can pull this up real quick, Lawrence. SportsCenter just tweeted, there have been 6 double-digit comeback wins in Super Bowl history. Pat has 2 of those in the last 4 years.
Well, it's the teams that are, like, down 10 at halftime, right? He has 2 of those. Like, they've come back to win after being down 10 in the Super Bowl? Both?
Yeah, because the 49ers were up on them.
Yeah, both of his wins.
It just, and then to do that on a bum leg too, and he has that 26-yard run, like that just shows the mystique, the legendary status that he is on. The only thing that's preventing him from being that Tom Brady Jordan discussion is time. And once time kind of passes, I think we're going to see the accolades continue to grow from Patrick Mahomes.
Carm, you know the moment in this game last night where this kind of topic popped in my head? The first time, like, Jordan really, I was like, Jordan. The way you say it, Jordan.
Yeah. On which play did you do that?
Was it when he limped off at halftime?
What? No, well, no.
How about the one where he was falling down and he threw it to Kelce?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was stupid.
Fox had a close-up on his face as he's going through his progressions with all this traffic around him. Yeah. And he got the tongue out.
Yeah, the tongue.
Yep, the tongue, yeah.
And he's just like, you see his eyes over here, tongue out. Then his eye, tongue out. And then he sidearms the ball. I don't even know who he threw it to on the play. Completed it.
I
I'm
know.
like,
that's a Jordan
does
moment.
anyone know how freaking hard that is? It's the hardest position to play in any sport. And he's calmly, like, in all this, like, it was like freaking Matrix shit. In the middle of the Super Bowl. It was unbelievable. I just cannot praise the guy enough. He is so good.
Well, and
I'm just so happy that I had the single shot of you doing that with the tongue stuff.
Yes,
that'll be a gift.
That was fantastic.
Perfect.
Well, and you know, all the credit to Mahomes, but let's shout out. However they schemed it, and or just the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, 0 sacks.
They were great.
That's a fantastic job by Andy Reid. I mean, to not have any sacks on a bum ankle quarterback
against the best defensive front in football, who was being compared to the '85 Bears.
We talked to Dan Hampton about that, Mark,
and he didn't really puff out his chest too much. He gave the Eagles credit.
Yeah,
it was a little extreme for me.
Yeah, me too. Like, come on.
They had the numbers, but I mean, it just didn't. They didn't show up in the playoffs.
Low-key greatest moment of the Super Bowl, and they showed where the Eagles rank all-time in sacks in a season.
Yeah, the Bears are
84 Bears, 85 Bears. Fewer games, by the way, being played back then.
Yeah,
that's how you know. That's how you know.
Let me just underline one thing too before I forget it. I want to remind everybody and myself, the Kansas City Chiefs organization sucked. Like, they were a quarterback starved. The only time they ever had a good QB was when Joe Montana came there at the back end of his career, and the Chiefs would celebrate that because he got into the playoffs in the early 90s. That's what that organization was.
Yeah, that's some Dave Craig slander right there.
Yeah. Sure, fair enough. But that organization was a joke, okay? They were the Kansas City fans were as exhausted with the Chiefs as Bears fans are with the Bears. And that dude came along and everything changed. They had the second most snaps in the NFL this year by a team that with rookies on the field. 154 starts or plays or whatever the number is. This was a rebuild year for them. See you later, Tyreek. Let's get all the draft picks.
Yeah.
They won the Super Bowl. My point being that, like, if he was drafted to the Bears, he would have transformed the whole organization, most likely.
Yeah, I used to, when Mahomes was younger in his career, I would go along with the idea that, like, would Mahomes really be Mahomes with the Bears? Like,
Yes,
and I think
he
that's
would.
a valid conversation. I'm
Now.
over that now. That yes, he'd be
Transcendent,
Mahomes.
yep.
It might have taken an extra year. It might have taken some. Yes, Mahomes would have been Mahomes. He's that freaking good.
Right. And Andy Reid, you get credit.
Well, and let's give Andy Reid some credit. The Chiefs were getting there before they drafted Mahomes. Alex Smith, they were a playoff team. They were doing good things, but they were not. They still lost that
favorites.
wild card
Yeah.
game, you know, right?
The Tennessee Titans, right?
Yeah.
With Matt Nagy. Yep.
To Mariota was the quarterback. So like
Up
those
21-3.
So Mahomes took them from that to the next level, and Kelce obviously deserves credits. Kelce's his Scottie Pippen, right?
That guy is so freaking annoying.
We talked about
Shut
how he
your
got
mouth.
over. Yeah.
Just shut up. Don't.
Why?
Oh my
Oh,
God!
yeah. We're
Put
the
some respect
underdog.
on it.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
No one. You could yell. Bart Scott said they weren't going to make plus. Okay, fine. Bart Scott said it. No one else is taking the Chiefs out of any conversation.
Yeah.
You are.
overblew
People
that
are
for sure,
talking about you winning 10 Super Bowls. People are talking.
I'm live betting the money line when they're down,
Yeah.
and Mahomes is
Like,
limping
just-
around.
I tweeted that after the game. What was funnier, Georgia claiming no one thought they could win the national championship, or the Chiefs claiming no one said that they would win the Super Bowl? It's like that's so ridiculous.
Take it down a notch, Travis.
Everybody thinks you're the greatest team in the
Right.
league.
And you're the greatest tight end of all time, and Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time, and Arrowhead is the loudest stadium, and Kansas City's got the best barbecue. These are the things that are being said by the vast. You don't do
Calm
that.
down, Travis.
God, was that annoying?
Mr. Marlon Moe, $10 super chat. The only knock on Mahomes is that 2 out of the 3 quarterbacks that played him in the Super Bowl outplayed him. I disagree, man.
Well, Jalen Hurts played phenomenal.
He did, but he didn't
played
outplay
phenomenal.
Mahomes last night. That's a ridiculous comment.
Is it? Hurts
I
was
don't know.
awesome.
Is it?
He was great. He wasn't Mahomes. Hurts threw the ball in the double coverage, stupid throws twice. One turned into a touchdown. The other one should have been picked up.
gave his guy a
Then
chance.
he dropped the ball, which is the only reason why. The most important play of that game yesterday was Hurts dropping the ball and it getting returned for a touchdown.
Yeah.
It would have been 24-7
Yeah, but hold on.
at halftime.
How great was the play call on their very next drive? The first play, they run
Runs
him, get him like back in the
Great
moment.
play call. That's why Shane Steichen's going to be the head coach of the Colts by the end of the day.
I don't know. I just feel like he was awesome. The way he.
You think he played better than Mahomes, though?
Yes.
He orchestrated that offense really well. Adam.
told-
I think there's more of an
3
argument than you're giving it.
Come on,
You
27
guys are basing
38.
this off of the stats too much.
No.
Mahomes went 13 for 14 after getting his
Yeah.
ankle ripped off again.
Shout out to
Hurts
Tornado.
played a
Listen,
fantastic game.
I'm with you mainly here, Adam, but
Come on,
Hurts was great. Hurts was
awesome.
great.
So you would have, if you had a vote, you would have voted for Hurts to be MVP. And then
No,
go.
I bet on Mahomes.
No.
so I'll take the money.
No, but that's what you're saying. Nick, you're a reporter now, man. If you're in that press box and you got an MVP vote, you're saying you would have voted for Hurts even though he didn't win the game?
I'd probably vote Mahomes because they
then
won the
Mahomes
the
played
Super Bowl.
better.
Would you have gone would you have gone co-MVP? Because some people were saying that it should have been a co-MVP, which I would not agree with, but you could have voted it that way.
Hurts had a Hail Mary at the end of the game that went like 25
Okay, yeah,
yards.
I don't know what the hell
happened on that
what
play?
happened there. Like
What was-
he hit it. I don't.
Mahomes would have thrown it 80.
I would have thrown it.
No, wait, you talking about the last play?
Yeah.
I think he slipped, didn't he?
Something happened there because that could not have been all he had.
Okay, that's a good tease. I want to talk about the turf here in a second. You guys know I love my turf, but first I also love my Goose Island. Had some going yesterday. Who didn't? CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company. We love it. It's
be right
right there on the screen in front of you. So many good options. Blackhawks Pale Ale, Hawks. The Hawks and Goose Island have been neighbors for 25 plus years. They got the Goose Pub in the UC open for almost 10. The tap room is a pregame destination for Hawks fans. How'd the Hawks event go?
Ugh, they won.
They
I
won.
know, but how'd the event go?
Oh, it was great. Yeah,
I mean, the
met some
Bulls
nice
lost by
people.
30 on our Bulls takeover. It was still fun.
Yes. I don't know. This was pretty cool. It was a lot of nice people I met, and it was. I liked the start at the Goose Island tap room thing. That was very cool.
That's
We had a little room in the back that was just for us, and yeah, Danny Wirtz stopped by. I thought that was pretty cool.
I saw the photos with Danny Wirtz. You know what I just realized? Because you're talking off camera and Carm's missing, it looks like we're talking to like a ghost.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
kind
the
of cool,
ghost.
actually. They also have the Blackhawks Pale Ale, of course. They have the Bull City 312, which has a great can look. It's right there in front of you. The Bourbon County Stout is great. So many good options. I always love the Green Line and the No Plans Tasty Time Pale Ale. Goose Island's 2 local locations are open and ready to welcome you. Grab a beer right from their innovation tanks at the Goose Island Tap Room, which is what Lawrence was just talking about, 1800 West Fulton, or get a smash burger and a fresh beer of the week at the original Clybourne Brew House at 1800 North Clybourne. For reservations and pickup, go to gooseisland.com/locations, Goose Island Beer Company.
Goose Island is a perfect combination with Chi-Town Custom Cornhole, the #1 cornhole provider for Chicagoland and Illinois since 2007. Their signature box-style design can be digitally printed, covered in vinyl, and painted. Their cornhole boards come in with built-in drink holders recessed in on the back, LEDs that light up the hole and exterior, handles for easy carrying, and handcrafted scorekeepers. Veteran-owned and operated Chi-Town Cornhole can ship anywhere and offer local pickups. And they specialize in corporate designs for your company's next marketing or social event, wedding gifts, and gifts for all occasions, and especially for tailgaters and backyard barbecues. Go check out their website, ChiTownCornhole.com, and make sure to follow them on Instagram at Chi-Town Custom Cornhole Boards.
All right. Now, there's an interesting pre-week storyline that I saw developing last week. And that was the lengths that the NFL went to with the field. So, State Farm Stadium, cool stadium. They've always had this ability with the field to roll it out into the sun. So it literally sits outside the stadium. That's where they take care of it, and they roll it back in for the game. It's on like sliding wheels or whatever. And also they have the roof, which can open, but, you know, it's the desert. So you got to have some special accommodations. They had a specific field last night that had been like grown for 2 years, that had never been played on. And they were giving I want to be nice here because, you know, George Toma has been
legend of the game.
94 years old. He's overseeing the field. He's not the one growing the grass. He's trying to take care of it. I do have a little bit of beef because they call him the sod father. There's only one sod father. Okay.
But unfortunately, Toma's 94. I believe he might be the sod father.
Oh, wow.
You don't.
Wow, Lawrence.
You can't just. It's not based on age. It's based on results. Do you think Roger Bossert would ever have a Super Bowl with a field with everybody slipping around?
No, I'm just saying though. Was this name given to Toma like before
Probably.
Roger?
Probably.
Hit the like button if you believe that Roger Bossert will forever be the sod father, no matter when he was born. Keep going.
He gets it now. Yeah. We got to knock George off the
I've been in Roger Bossert's office, and I want to. The man is there is no. He's the only sod father. This dude should be called something else.
I'll put it this way: he's my sod father. No, I don't want to give George Toma the any flack over the field last night. But this was an interesting story with the Bears connection because that grass they had last night, that sod, is the Tahoma 31 that we spent all of week 1 talking about. Which was the storyline with Soldier Field this year, and the new Bermuda
grass.
Arizona.
With that, really, if we're going to give credit, should go to Matt Eberflus, I think, first and foremost, for forcing the change. Ryan Poles with the assist. Now, here's the deal. It was an upgrade this year at Soldier Field, without a doubt. Now, there were still some games there that the players were still complaining about it. Nick, I remember you talking about that after one game.
Yeah, and I honestly don't even remember what game that was.
It was better. It still wasn't the type of surface you would expect for a Super Bowl. And it seemed like to me last night the issue was just like it was
chunks were coming off.
It was like
moist. But the paint, like what is with did they paint the entire field or just the logos on it? Like
just the logos. What?
I don't know. Everyone was saying how they put too much paint, so the paint was slippery.
Yeah, well, it seemed like the paint spots were the slippery spots, but it was happening all night. But it
was the Philadelphia Eagles that had a problem with it, right? The Chiefs didn't seem like they were switching out the cleats as much, from the broadcast at least.
So the Chiefs have a similar game on grass as the company, at Arrowhead. I don't think it's the same Tahoma 31 strain. Now as we get into grass strains here.
I know.
Keep it legal.
I'm not sure if I didn't see it. Did the Eagles comment at least the reason why they didn't get to the quarterback? Did they put that on the field?
I
never heard them blame
like
that specifically. They may have, but you do hear that a lot when you hear about
Pass rush.
snow games or rain games. That is,
I mean,
it impacts the
milliseconds-
defensive line the most because they just can't get the traction to get upfield.
Right.
It's easier on the offensive linemen who are playing defense at that point to block, right?
And if you add it up, I mean, credit to the Chiefs' offensive line, but this wasn't like the best offensive line in football. In fact, at times this year they were very much under scrutiny. And then for that offensive line to stop the best offensive line in football, you got to believe the turf had to have at least some impact. Right?
It's got to be better for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that
is my overall point.
I mean, my bigger beef was with the referees than the damn turf, but yes.
Okay, we could talk about that too.
I do want to get to a super chat, though, real fast here from our guy, the Duke, who I believe
Duke
is hitting us with a $49.99 from the Duke. Says, watching Leo Chanel make some tackles last night made me think of you, Adam.
Oh,
also, I had a nightmare. What if the Texans and Colts talk to each other and figure out that they don't like the same QB in the draft and the bidding war never materializes? Don't put that out there, Duke.
That's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, the Duke.
Duke, nobody can trust anybody in this world, so that's not going to happen because they'll be convinced that the other person's lying.
It's really just about each team falling in love with their guy, no matter who it is, and then being paranoid enough that they're not going to get him, whether it's the Texans involved or the Panthers jumping up or a different team that wants to trade up.
10 other teams need a quarterback, too. Don't worry, Duke. We're okay. Sleep well.
They just need to hope that one of these teams is the Bears in 2017 and moves up to give heaven and earth to go get Mitch Trubisky.
We need somebody as dumb as Ryan Pace was in 2017. No offense, Ryan Pace. Seriously, what does Ryan Pace think when he watches this?
That's a good question.
Well, it's funny you say that because Jason McKenna threw a super chat in saying, please tell me your full thoughts on what Ryan Pace thinks about when he sees Mahomes doing this versus Trubisky's production.
Wow, like perfect timing.
Jason, I can be honest and say I did not read your super chat. Didn't mean to jump you on that. And great question. I have no idea.
Here's the thing. Pace liked Mahomes, too. It's not like
Which is even worse.
Didn't like. But
it's way worse.
At some point, you have to understand, though, that like even the Chiefs maybe didn't. I don't think the Chiefs thought he'd be this good. Well, maybe they did.
Look at
They
Nick
did
over
trade
there
up.
who wrote the article. It's out there. He's got receipts.
That's true. They probably didn't think he was going to be this good, but they also thought there's no way I'm taking Mitch Trubisky over this guy.
Yeah, and if you have the number 3 pick and there's 2 QBs you like, it doesn't matter. You don't need to jump to 2.
Yeah, I still don't really care about the jumping because if they had traded up for Mahomes, no one ever talks about that trade ever. The trade part never has bothered me. It never will. It's the scouting was wrong. You picked the wrong quarterback. No matter where you picked it, that was bad.
I have no words. Like if you're Ryan Pace, you see this 2 Super Bowls last 4 years. We read off all the accolades. He probably is envisioning he's still in Chicago. You know,
they are the Chicago Trailblazers, right, Carm?
Yeah. See, it's
so bad.
It's
never gonna end. I know we talked about.
That's the thing. Like it's never. It's never gonna end. And like literally never, because we're still talking about the Trailblazers, and that was 1984. So what is that? 94, 04, 40 years. No biggie. They're still talking.
40 years.
It's forever. It's at least it's until like I don't know. It's a 60-year thing. 60 years.
You're cutting it off at 60.
Well, once you know, yeah. I mean, life goes on.
Well, didn't we have this conversation a couple weeks ago that it could end up being the worst move in the history of sports?
Yeah, we did.
I think that's on the table.
Oh, that's on.
I think it's on the table.
More he wins, yes, the more valid that becomes.
Stu Inman was the general manager of the Blazers. It was in his 5th season in 1984.
Stu, what are you doing?
Good old Stu. Now,
So are you saying 40 years from now, someone's going to be sitting on some show somewhere Googling Ryan Pace's
who the
name?
hell drafted that idiot? It was Ryan Pace. But it's worse what we did because at least they had Drexler. We didn't have anything. We needed a quarterback. Okay. Whoops.
Whoops is right.
I didn't believe it too at the time. Like people were like, his whole tenure as the Bears is going to be tied to this draft pick. Everyone said it. You said it. Whatever. I'm like, that's not really true. I mean,
Matt Miller famously tweeted, Ryan Pace just got fired.
Wow.
That's perfect.
What a tweet.
Or I think he tweeted, let me be clear, because I don't want to get Matt's tweet wrong. I think he tweeted a quote of an NFL personnel man saying that. That's what I think it was. I think he was quoting like a source of his that worked in the NFL who had just told him that their take was Ryan Pace just got fired.
Took a minute, but
Yep, here we go. April 30th, 2017, said a high-level executive, Ryan Pace just got fired with this draft.
You should retweet that right now.
Hey,
And say, watch the show.
And say what?
Dude did.
And then no one will watch it.
My God.
Okay, we should probably stop talking about it. People are sick of hearing about it. I get it. All right, the refs. You didn't like the call at the end?
No.
Yeah.
And you know what I did love? Greg Olson. You're the man. You jumped it right when it happened, and then he got pushed back from
Pereira.
And then he pushed right back at him. Shut up, Pereira, with your referee stuff. That call sucks, and it's and stay out of the way. Let the players decide. Listen, I'm sorry. Sure, technically, was it a penalty? Probably.
Yes.
I mean, whatever. Bradbury said it was. Okay, so fine, it was. But you know what?
Did you actually listen to the Bradbury comments or just see the tweet?
No, I listened to him.
Okay, because
he was very professional.
But from what I heard, I didn't actually listen. My friend says that the way he said it was not like saying, he was kind of saying, I kind of thought they would let that go. Because that's like they were letting it go all game.
He didn't like say it. He wasn't like, I 100% grabbed held him and they should have called it. He didn't say it with that, but he acknowledged that you couldn't make that call, and they did make that call, but it ruined the end of the Super Bowl.
Okay. So
You think he should have called it?
Well, I'm more concerned about what are your thoughts on Bradbury's integrity of saying he actually called a penalty? Because now you're saying that he should go tell the ref that he committed a penalty, but then the ref shouldn't call it. Because now I'm just trying to.
Okay, so everyone's trying to tie my take with Devontae Smith into
It's
this
the
play.
same thing.
It's not the same thing. It's
ref. I committed a penalty on the play. That's what Mark Carman wants me to say.
How is this confusing? He didn't.
It's 100% the same thing.
No, come on. There are a million grabs and holds and touches throughout a football game. Whether you caught it or you didn't catch it, which, by the way, in the play in this game where Devontae went, in my mind, he thought he caught that football, which is why he kind of just got up and went to the line in the Super Bowl, and because he did. But the NFL, of course, has created that he didn't.
Which was my whole point about the one you were getting mad at him about. I still think he thought he caught that one too.
No, he didn't. He knew he was fumbling it to the ground. He knew he didn't have control. He knew it.
They went fast on that one again this time. So why is there a difference? Because your whole thing was
the difference was that in this one he wasn't doing that.
They still went fast.
They did go fast.
Yes, they did. But I think if I'm in the head of Devontae Smith, which I probably have no right to be, I think he actually thought that he caught that ball, and knew it was close. But like, okay,
How is this different than a player committing a penalty he admits later he committed?
Because because you could call a penalty on every single play if you wanted to. Like there's always grabs and touches and this and that. If they want to call holding every single play, they probably can. It's exhausting, which is why you have to get out of the way. And you especially need to get out of the way in the final 2 minutes. And they've got to earn that. He's got to get through that contact. I mean, if he tackles him to the ground, it's one thing. But this little whatever, no. He's got to get through that, and he's got to catch it, and he's got to be in the end zone. He's got to stand there, and he's got to taunt. And then when we won the Super Bowl.
Look, there's two things going on here. One, I'm just trying to match up your thoughts on integrity and everything, and I'm still confused by it. Two, I actually agree with you on this.
Okay, thank you.
On this play, and I agree with Greg Olson, and I agree with Carl Cheffers, the referee, who had the pool report with Lindsey Jones afterwards, and I think explained everything exactly right. There was a hold. They called a hold. We're sticking with the hold. Like, technically, the referees handle that the right way. It is a penalty. I think the question is, does it need to be called? And my answer to this question every time is, if it's in the context of this game, that's what it should be called or not called on. And the reality is, They didn't call that shit the whole game.
Right.
And it was ticky-tacky at best. You have holds, especially with corners, wide receivers on almost every play. I agree with that. They let them play through stuff. Sometimes they don't. And
How the hell do you call that?
In that moment, on what was
Seriously.
the biggest play of the game, it better be damn obvious. And it better be a catchable ball.
Yes.
Like, that was the other
That's
part
what
of it.
I was
Like,
going to say.
Well, they called it right when it happened, so he didn't really know whether it was or wasn't. But I agree in theory.
right. And that part's right, because it's not PI. PI, if the ball's uncatchable, you don't. But holding's holding, because you really can't project where the guy would have been in context of the ball. But it's just like when you consider the whole play, it seems very, very unlikely that was ever going to be a completion anyway. Also, I hated the play call from the Chiefs. Like, you got to be running the clock off there, something more high percentage. And now it's like a bailout. You're rewarding a team for. I agree with you. Like, it shouldn't have been called, in my opinion, even if it was technically a penalty, because then you got to call them all. If you're going to call that one in that moment, you got to call it the whole game.
I didn't have an issue with that penalty whatsoever. And the big reason why, the Eagles had the better team. The Eagles had the pass rush. The Eagles had this better defense. James Bradbury's out of position. He's overplaying this route that's about to bounce outside, and he holds. That's a hold. He tugs on the jersey, and everything's being highlighted, right? These final moments of the game. The referees know that, and he's hindering the receiver from getting there. Where's the Eagles' pass rush that can get to Patrick Mahomes where the cornerback doesn't have to defend as long? They were non-existent. So I don't have an issue. When I saw it happen, it's like, yeah, he held him. That's on the cornerback overplaying it and not being in a position to actually make a play on the ball. So when you see it's a hold, if that's the other way around, like, Eagles fans are going to be wanting a hold if that was their receiver, right?
It's also at the line of scrimmage.
It's at the line of scrimmage, but he overplays it. The pass rush isn't there. That's on the Eagles' defense not executing in the crucial moment of the game. They gave up 38, well, minus the fumble return. Like, they gave up all those points. That's on them.
Don't you want to let him play, though, at that point in the game?
You do, but that's a hold.
Yeah, okay.
That's a hold. He's tugging on the jersey.
Then I'm just saying, then where's the holds the rest of the game? I mean, we
Smoke
could
that hand out of there, and you're on your way. Touchdown. Let's go.
It's hard enough to play DB these
but
days.
I-
if you can't
Everything you
have
just said
any
makes sense, by the way.
I think we're all making
That's
sense.
why I'm not.
We're all making sense.
I don't think that this is a big enough controversy that we didn't lead the show with it. And I don't think we should have. And then, like, the other thing I laughed at is this idea that, like, the NFL wanted the Chiefs to win, so that's why they like the script. Are you out of your mind? The NFL wanted the Eagles to get the ball back and have a chance to have an incredible drive. They didn't want to see a 20-yard duck Hail Mary from Jalen Hurts.
That's another thing. Just the NFL would have. Well, football fans wanted to see the drama of the game played out. The NFL, certainly, if you asked them at the time, hey, would we like to see it? They would have said the same thing. It's just a reminder to the officials, when you can get out of the way, get out of the way. And they just, a lot of times it feels like they try to get in the way. Because I saw it, and this is the rules, and I'm going to make my call.
That's kind of my problem. I thought that this was overall a very, very well officiated game where you didn't think about the refs the entire time. I had one issue with the sideline catch that they turned back that they reviewed. Was that the Goddard catch?
That was
Yeah, where they haven't overturned that all season, and now you're overturning it. He had a little bobble. It wasn't the Goddard one. That was the one that
Smith one where he's
one?
going down the right sideline.
I forget. Whichever one they overturned, they brought back.
The point is like, what the hell's a catch in the NFL? It's like some fucking physics thing that, like, we have to, like, there's a process and a third foot. Like, just shut up. He caught the ball and you saw it.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing?
He caught the ball. Yes, there was a slight juggle in there at the top, but his foot was still down when he regathered it. So you had 1, 2, out of bounds, and then he hit the ground, and the ball nudged the ground. But they've said all year the ball can hit the ground as long as you're falling, as long as you still maintain control. I thought he maintained control the entire time. They looked at it for like 4.5 minutes, and now they're overturning. They haven't overturned that all year. The NFL's motto on replay all season long, and I was happy that they finally stuck with it, was it better be conclusive, indisputable. And They did that all year. Now all of a sudden in the Super Bowl they're overturning it. Like that was honestly I had a bigger problem with that than the holding call at the end.
The whole thing's exhausting.
It is.
It's in his hands. It's on his body. There was 2 feet right there. Oh, but he wasn't fully controlling, and now we're gonna sit here for an hour. And
I know.
look
Like, just think of like all the like the non-fans who don't watch every week who just are tuning into the Super Bowl and trying to understand like what a catch is, and
Right.
the announcer
do you have to
explaining
do?
the process, and Mike Pereira's talking about that. Oh, well, there's a third step. Like, what the hell? Like, what? Just look at it.
Yeah.
Is it a catch or is it not a catch?
Well,
like,
and
what are we doing?
Where the Eagles, if we're looking for breaks, that was a catch and a fumble that got overturned. He caught it. He looked upfield.
Yeah, it
he
was
got
so
cracked.
bang, bang. I don't know. That was so quick. I thought as soon as I saw that, I'm like, no,
He had it though. He had it in his hands
for like 0.3 seconds.
Yeah.
That one I didn't.
Hey, we got a double Duke super chat. I want
double
to
Duke.
First, he threw us $9.99 saying, "quote I touched it, coach. It's their ball." And quote Duke begins banging his head against the wall. That was about the
and Carm
penalty.
starts crying.
And then
Sirianni style.
this one, 1999. That call was the equivalent of an umpire calling the low outside corner a ball all game. Then bottom of the ninth, 2 outs in the World Series, it becomes a strike.
That's not bad.
Umpire calling low outside corner a ball all game, then bottom of the ninth. 2 out. Yeah. And that's
Right.
That's a very good comparison.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a problem with strike zones as long as the umpire's consistent the whole game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Angel Hernandez, you're terrible the whole game. You're terrible the
If
whole
you
game.
don't call the outside corner the whole game and that's consistent, the pitchers are never going to complain. They understand that that's part of it. And you got to think about it from a DB standpoint too. I'm being serious now.
Yeah.
You're a defensive back. You know what you've been able to get away with or not get away with the entire game. That's how you're going to play in the biggest moment of the game.
No doubt.
They haven't
Makes
called
sense.
a tug the entire game. I can get away with this. And I bet you that's where Bradbury's coming from. Yes, I tugged him. It's probably a hold. But that's one I thought I could get away with there because that's what he's thinking. Hasn't been a foul the whole game. Now it's a foul. That's what's frustrating about it. You know what wasn't frustrating last night? DraftKings. DraftKings was great.
DraftKings was not frustrating last night. Hoge, you had a big night there, buddy. You want to tell everybody some of the stuff you were doing?
We had some parlays going. We had Kelce and Pacheco going over, and each scoring a touchdown. So 4-leg parlay there. That one hit. We had Hurts scoring a touchdown in anytime TD.
Yeah, 3.
We had Kelce over on that one too. Just all the talk about how they couldn't cover Kelce all week and Carm not being able to figure it out. I just pounded Kelce.
It's really a phenomenon.
Shouldn't have said it like that.
Yeah.
That's the way you said it with Justin Fields last week too on Radio Row.
It's okay. It's all right. We're good.
And then the risky one I put on that one was I had the Chiefs over 3.5 touchdowns in the game. Which they ended up hitting.
Nice.
But yeah, that was a big one.
The overs were coming through. Nick, did you make any bets on the DraftKings
I
sports
made a
app?
bunch of
Our
bets,
official
and
betting partner.
The only bet I actually hit was the coin toss.
Wow.
So
That is not good.
I thought
That's
my
not
night
great.
was going to be great, and that was the only one I won.
You are not a good gambler, I don't think.
No. You just figured this out, Mark.
Yeah.
The great thing too is taking advantage of the same game bonus that they put in there.
Yep.
And the
Yeah,
parlay
not for
bonus.
me. Not for me.
You download the app now. Sign up with CHGO as the code CHGO. New customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NBA with code CHGO. By the way, bet NBA too.
NBA, NFL.
Can you bet college hoop? Is that legal?
Yes, you
Yeah,
can't
just-
bet Northwestern.
Just
because
not
we're in
Northwestern,
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because that's what's going to
Yeah.
cause problems for the athletes.
Right.
Not the illegal betting you could still do where there's shady people involved.
Right.
Not that. No,
Yeah.
it's the legal gambling that's going to cause. Great idea there. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
You don't want to talk about my bet? That
No, I
Do
do.
you want to talk about it?
not yes and no.
Bring up
Okay.
your tweet. Or did you?
Oh.
Was it a tweet or was it a video?
Because I have some futures we need to talk about.
Well, I just hit DraftKings had the profit boost one where if the more legs you take of your parlay, it jumps the profit boost. So I did a 10-legger. And
Little 10-legger.
that was a 100% profit boost, and it was a $20 bet that would have paid $250. I did this Saturday, and I was just like, whatever. I didn't notice this till after the game. I had 9 check marks, 1 X, and the X was Eagles under 34.5 points.
Ouch.
So obviously, that type of bet for it to only play 250, you did a lot of like
it
things that were very likely to happen.
Sure, and it's it's
which
your
is probably
like,
the right way to play a 10 leg parlay if you're going to do it.
Yeah, like things like Chiefs over 6.5 in the first half. The Kelce receptions and Dallas Goedert receptions and
Things
things
you know
like
you can
that.
get.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get greedy.
Ooh,
I mean,
that
a
one
little
stings
bit.
a little.
Yeah, that one stings.
Sorry for you on that
That's
one.
a quote unquote bad beat.
Okay. Damn. The odds for Super Bowl 58 are out.
Bears.
Ooh.
Where do you think? I'll ask you a couple questions here. We'll play a little bit.
I
of
mean,
game.
Greg Braggs has already put money on the Bears. I saw a tweet about that.
The Bears. Who do you think's favored?
Chiefs.
5-1. Who do you think's second?
Eagles.
Very original here. 7-1. Who do you think's third?
Bills.
Bengals.
Bills. 8-1. 49ers. 8-1. Bengals. 9-1.
Bears.
Bears.
I kind of like the Bengals at 9-1. Here's an interesting one: the Jets at 25-1.
Could have Aaron.
If they
Aaron
get
Rodgers. That changes things.
And then you got value, and then you could get out of that bet, lock in a profit, live the dream. DraftKings, let's go.
Where do you think the Bears are?
150.
Actually, 75-1.
I was going to say 80.
but they're fifth to the bottom.
Who's at the bottom?
The Texans at 150-1.
Okay.
Cardinals 100-1. Colts 80-1. I'm going from the bottom up now. Then Commanders. The Bears and Commanders are tied.
I like the Bears better than the Commanders. That's value. Let's go. Bears.
Come on, we're not betting any of these teams to win the Super Bowl. I'm trying to find the team that like. What I'm surprised about is the Broncos at 25-1.
We're going to be
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That puts them at 9th in the NFL. The Broncos. That's a lot of faith
Unless
in Sean
Russell
Payton.
Wilson turns it around, that ain't gonna happen.
I was trying to be very nice to our DMVR friends. I like the Sean Payton hire. I think it's the best guy they could have hired, except maybe DeMeco Ryans. I don't have a good feeling about how it's going to end.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Does
don't
Russell play?
know. I don't know that Russell's salvageable at this point. B, I'm not saying it's full John Fox, but it's got kind of this John Fox going to the Bears type vibe, where it's like one last bite of the apple for Sean Payton. If it doesn't go well, is Sean Payton gonna really care?
Probably not.
Yeah, but if you're Denver, don't you take a swing with Sean Payton?
Yes,
You
I'm
have
not.
to, yeah.
I'm not. Like I think John Fox was the right hire for the Bears at the time. It was not a bad hire, but I think expecting it all to like turn into Broncos Super Bowl, Russell Wilson as the quarterback, my expectations aren't that high.
I think they still have a good team, but yeah, it all hinders on what Russell Wilson can do, and I don't know if he can do much now.
It's an excellent point by Matt Nagy saying that Sean Payton is no Matt Nagy, which is absolutely true. 100% true.
I thought I saw our Matt Nagy lookalike on the out there.
Naked Man is
sunbathing.
back, and he's out, and it's February.
That's great.
Was
It's a
he out
beautiful
there?
day.
He was out there.
Was he shirtless?
Beautiful day.
Yep.
Yep.
He was.
Yes,
Yeah.
wearing
Sun's out.
shorts. And
February 13th.
his chest was showing. God bless him.
Sun rays on the chest.
You go, girl.
Do we have futures odds on the Bears to make the playoffs next year? Do we know that? Or is
I didn't see.
or is it just Super Bowl at this point?
The Bears are going to be in Vegas next year with CHGO. Let's go.
I hope so.
I mean,
Come on.
you're just accelerating timelines. Okay.
Let's.
You do
They're
whatever
all
we want.
Super Bowl
Show.
odds.
I mean, yeah, it might not be ready yet. They're probably still. It's very early to start throwing those futures out if you're a book.
If I'm wrong, it's a year from now. Who's going to remember?
I
Carm said on
just clipped
February
it.
13th the Bears would be. Here he is.
Someone's
Oh, there
taking
he
down
goes.
receipts right now. Oh, there he is. Wow.
It's a
He just
beautiful
went
day.
inside to see if we noticed, watched the show, and then saw that we did, and he came back out to show you again.
Well,
Guys,
he's always
we-
got a heater with him. Look, I got respect for naked guy over there. I was outside
Half-naked
yesterday.
guy. Half-naked guy.
Halfway naked. Yes.
What do we have to
Mostly
clarify
naked.
that?
I don't know.
I don't think we do.
Okay.
It's more fun if he's a naked guy.
Okay, it's friends.
He's mostly naked.
The mostly naked guy. I was outside on the patio yesterday, taking advantage of the weather.
One garment?
No, I guess that's what I'm saying.
garment.
I still had my vest on too. The no shirt thing's a little aggressive. It's still 48 degrees, guy.
Do that.
He's feeling it, brother. Must be
Soak
hot
in
in
the
that
sun.
house.
What's he looking at? It always looks like
He's watching the show.
he's staring at the grill.
No, he's got a.
Is he expecting it to make food?
All right, let's fire through some super chats.
So this is the last one we haven't done here. This is from earlier from Isaac.
Isaac, $10. Hey, guys, my question is, all these people talking about trading Fields, no one talks about the morale of current free agent players doing that by saying development doesn't matter. We'll just move on. I don't know. #annoyed. Okay, good question, Isaac. Want everyone to know, if you miss anything from last week, it's all up on our YouTube channel, and there's some really good conversation, including on this very topic. One of the interviews we did that did not make one of our shows, so I encourage you to go watch it separately, was our conversation with Thomas Dimitroff, who was the Falcons GM and got let go in 2020, and he's doing this cool thing. I'm forgetting the guy's name right off the top of my head, but the guy from Pro Football
Eager?
Focus.
Is it Eager?
Yeah, maybe.
Something Eager?
But
I followed him.
He
Hold on.
partnered with the numbers guy from PFF, and they were talking about this because Dimitroff, he pushed back. Isaac, he basically said what you said. It's like, what kind of message is that going to send in the locker room? And like, that's something a GM needs to be aware of. And then the numbers guy was like, yeah, how many of these guys are really going to be back next year, though? Like, does it really make that big of a difference? Which was a fair counterpoint. I do think it matters. I also, and I brought this up multiple times last week, it bothers me when Mike Tannenbaum says, oh, you get 2 more years of the rookie contract back. What about the 2 years of the development, though?
Seriously.
You don't get that back, and now you got invested in the rookie because I don't care how adept Bryce Young is at reading coverages. The speed of the game is faster. There's an adjustment, okay? So at best, you're maybe recouping 1 year, right? You might get 1 year of the 2 if Bryce Young is a superstar and takes off immediately, which is an enormous if. So the official stance of this show has been well documented at this point. None of us are on board with trading Fields. I don't like it. It's going to continue to be a talking point, though, and we're just going to have to live with it.
You know who else had a good point about this? Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth
Rollins.
Rollins.
That
Which
was
is
a good one.
another
Gotta
interview
go
you should
check that one out on
That
YouTube.
one's on the YouTube.
The guy that you're talking about is Eric Eager.
Eric Eager.
Who was great.
Yeah, he was excellent.
It was a great conversation.
And just to shout out something around this conversation to my guy Matt Verderam, who I used to work with over at Fanside. And Fields told them, because whatever reason, Justin was postponing his interview with us, first date to be determined, and we can't wait to have him right here so we can go lengthy. He said that the Poles texted him and said, I'll let you know if anything's going on,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Okay.
What is that?
It's not weird.
It is? Not weird? Okay, let me hear why.
I actually want to give Poles a lot of credit for this.
Okay.
So the day before, one of the interviews Fields did was with Rich Eisen. And Rich Eisen was grilling him on this idea that he could be traded. Have you heard anything from the Bears? Are they keeping you updated? Do you want them to keep you updated? And the summary of the conversation was Fields said, no, they haven't said anything to me. And B, yes, I would. Like, I think we all want honesty in this game. And I guarantee you that whether Poles watched that interview or somebody told him about it,
Okay.
the following day now is when he's talking to your guy Verderam and Fansided, and I guarantee you the only reason they asked him that question, I don't know how it came up, I didn't see it, but they probably asked it as a result of the Rich Eisen interview. And as a result of the Rich Eisen interview, Poles obviously made some contact with him and was like, dude, we'll keep you updated. I think that stuff matters.
I like that. It's clarity for Justin Fields, and I think that's good. I think it's a
wouldn't-
good thing.
Okay, and it's fine. He can't give him any guarantees and whatever. This is, this is not show friends. This is show business. I get it. But there's part of me that's like, dude, I mean, that conversation could be as simple as like, hey, man, we're not trading you, just so you know. You're our quarterback. Know that. There's nothing to keep you updated on. If you want to know, I don't think that Poles needs to update him on who they're going to be drafting or if they're going to make any trades or who they're looking at free agent wise, unless he wants to get his opinion on someone, which would make sense if he knew a guy or whatever. So I just thought it was interesting. But I think overall, if I had to bet on what's happening here, I would side 1,000% or 999% that's exactly what it was. Like, hey man, I don't care what's being conversed on any of these shows. We'll let you know if there's anything. Period. End of story. Don't worry about it. We're good. Justin Fields is going nowhere. Period. What?
Nick actually retweeted that Matt Miller tweet from
I did.
6 years ago now.
Are you getting a reaction on it?
Oh, no, just a bunch more retweets.
Oh, boy.
It'll never die.
That's bad.
Well, there you go.
Keep it
Let's
going.
get it back in the thing. Okay, we're leaving, Lawrence. It's all
Yeah,
over.
let's wrap.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
This isn't Arizona. This isn't Media Row. No 2-hour shows here today.
Thank you to everybody for getting us to 25,000 YouTube.
Let's get to 26, everyone.
Yeah.
26.
I mean, last week we added like almost 1,000, so what's another 1,000 this week?
It's draft season.
Keep telling
By
them.
the way, hit the
Let's
like.
go.
We've
Tell a
got
friend,
like
tell a
80
family member.
80 likes today?
80, what do we got? 84?
We're gonna we have to
Loafed
stay
by
here.
all of you.
That
That's
hurts.
Loafed by
Come
all
on.
of you.
That hurts. Love all of you, even those who yelled at me today for
That's every day.
that
those
is
likes
they are
up
just
before we
coming
get
at
out
me.
of here. Come on.
I love you all.
Carm, you've turned the tide, though. There was a lot of support for At the Carm in the
was.
comments last week.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Is it just
Yeah.
Chicago? Is it a Chicago thing, or is it like?
Oh, you're
Phoenix
saying that I
people
turned
love?
It's
the
the
tide.
same people. No, you have won over the hearts of Bears fans.
Thank you. I don't know. There was plenty of heat coming my way today, and I love all of you.
Did you go to the bathroom during the break and did your hair?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
did.
Thanks,
I
Daniel.
did. And I
I
thought that
don't
was
know why I
gonna be-
just noticed that now.
I don't
Yeah.
know if anyone actually noticed it.
I noticed him get up. I didn't know
I
why he
noticed
got
it.
up.
I saw it.
I felt like we had to get back on board.
102, 103 likes. It's growing.
Yes.
There we
Thank
go.
you, everybody.
Yes.
See, here's the thing
Much
about
appreciated.
being back in Chicago. Lawrence is getting fidgety. Once we go over an hour, he starts getting fidgety over there, and then he just abruptly ends the show sometimes, usually on you, Carm.
Yeah, well, usually Carm just
Thought you
makes
could do it
another
right there.
point that's
Yeah.
like
He does this move for
completely
those behind the scenes.
like let me just bring one other thing up that's like totally left field, and it's like, okay, like, and do that some other time.
We can do that another time.
Tomorrow's
Sidewalk show.
the Tuesday after the Super Bowl. It's a national holiday, local holiday.
You want to tell everybody
My
about
first Bears mock draft
Ooh.
coming out.
Oh, jeez.
It's coming for you tomorrow.
Season.
Get ready for it. We're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, and yeah, the combine's 2 weeks away, guys.
15 days.
2 weeks away. The combine is.
We're going to the combine, baby.
You going?
Talk to you tomorrow.